Good morning, good afternoon, where you guys are joined in. I'm doing a scene from Turkey. So let me find a pencil. I generally use a 6B pencil. I can't find any lead in it. All right, so let me use a 2B pencil. I generally use a pencil. I'm not going to go look for a pencil. This one is a Cityscape. I haven't done it before, so we will see how it works. There's a lot of elements in this drawing, but the main thing what we are trying to think about, okay, so if that's a sketch, we are trying to think about is like, key main lines. So there is a horizon somewhere just below. If this one is half, that one is the horizon, and the eye line is about there. Okay, that's where we are trying to do. Then there's some buildings, and then there is a mosque, and there is another building, and that's the main mosque. Okay, those are the main key drawings. And then there is a couple of people. I'm going to put in a couple of, and then there is a guy in the front, and I'm going to minimize. I'm not going to put the bench and all other things, but I'm going to just do a couple of lines, and we're going to simplify this particular drawing. There's too many things going on here. We don't want so many details, but I might add some couple of awnings, and we will see how it goes. But that's roughly what I'm trying to think about. Okay, let's put that into practice over here. So that roughly, that's my horizon, that's my eye line. Okay, and somewhere there is a building. Okay, that's the first building, and then there is another building which is sticking out all the way till here. And there's that building. I'm just using big lines as a reference, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so that's your first building, and then maybe there is your second building. Okay, and then there is also a little bit of building I can see in the front. So the perspective lines should match. Okay, that's my building. There's a little bit of the turquoise. Again, I'm not trying to be very precise. There's a little bit of turquoise, and then there is a arc of the building somewhere till here. That's your main dome. Maybe a little bigger. The dome. There's a structure. That's about it. So, and there's some roof, there's some tiles, and there's trees, which I will do in the last minute. And also there's a couple of people, so we'll just try adding. So if that's the island, that's where the banners are, and then there's arch. There's another banner. There's a couple of floors. There is a display. That's I'm going to add it because it's slightly different colors, and a couple of people. So I'm going to just do a couple of people. Okay. Then there's a couple of kids. And by the way, those are my kids, and that's my wife. those are my photos. So okay, and I will try to add that person in the front. Winter, puffy jacket. Okay, that's about the details I need. A few more people. Okay, and making sure that there is a little bit of light over here, and then there is some reflection over here, and we will see how we're going to treat this one. So that is my drawing. I'm picking up some brush. I will use some cobalt blue to start with. Again, all I'm trying to do is at the moment just putting in some colors. Okay, this is a first wash, very loose, simple colors. I'm using some buff titanium. That building is a little bit yellow ochre. So okay, yellow ochre. This is a stronger yellow. Again, trying to just put in some colors. And we will add a little of gray. I'm just picking up whatever colors is in the palette. Okay, so that is what I'm doing at this stage. I'm just picking up some colors, splattering, so just to create a little more drama. Okay, so what we have done so far is step one, we have done the drawing, making sure the drawing is okay before we go ahead, and then also we have done the first wash, just putting in colors, and we will start building the story. Okay. Okay, now let's start. There's no particular order which building should go first, so you can pick whatever building. So I'm going to just start with some turquoise. That particular dome is important, and it's a landmark, so I'm going to pick up some turquoise. Nice bright turquoise. A little bit here as well. So again, it doesn't have to be exactly the same color, but we are trying to replicate a color. The same goes over here. A little bit color over here. So okay, I'll just beef it up a little bit. Now they start working on the other side. Very little water. Need a little bit of tissue on the hand. Okay, I'll switch to a small brush. So couple of dry brush strokes. Okay. Before that, I forgot to add some shadows. Yeah, the shadows needs to be added first before we can build the story. So the sun is over here. So let me see how we're going to do. There's a little bit of shadow over here. Okay. Then there is the shadows over here. Okay. There is a shadow up to there. Maybe I'll leave the white for the people. Some white. Okay, and the same thing goes for the other side of the building. So that one is a lot more darker. Okay, there's some colors. Obviously this side is a lot more darker. Okay, and this particular building, I will add some shadows, casting shadows somewhere over here. Maybe add a little more blue. Okay, so that's roughly where the shadows are, and also for this particular building there's shadows. Okay, those are the main big areas where there are shadows. And continue with some shadows over here, but making sure that a line, there's a gap, so there's light over here. Okay, so that's your second wash of the shadows. Okay, now we start adding some details. Okay, and then we continue with what we were trying to do in the first place, is to add some features. So a couple of shadows, right there. Just some suggestions. It doesn't have to be a lot of details. It's just some broken lines. Okay, and we'll add some banner, a little pop of colors. And then we continue adding more details. So a couple more details, a little shadow on this side. More, keep adding details. And some nice clean windows. Yeah, that's all we are trying to do at the moment, is adding some details, but not overwhelmed. So we know what's going on over there, and we're happy with very little details. Let's come over here. Some suggestions of windows. Second floor. Same thing over here. Some shadows as and where it's needed. Beef up a couple of places where there is more shadows. Yeah, we're just playing around with some details. Okay, let's come over here, add a little more. Okay, and we're doing the same treatment. Keep adding some more details. So we can, I forgot to add a awning, not a yawning, a awning. Probably it's too late right now. I wanted to add a couple of, I missed the boat. We will do it as a different painting, maybe. And then there is a sign here. We can put in a little bit of sign. Maybe. Okay. So far, that's what I'm trying to do. And then keep in mind, once everything is done, we will have the trees as well. So the trees will go at the very last. Okay, so that one is fine. Now let's add the people. So we can start with any person, doesn't matter. A little bit of lavender. The same with the kid. I'll add some shadows over here. Again, we're not looking for a lot of details. Okay, let's do the person in the front. His puffy jacket. It looks flat at the moment. What we do is we come back and then beef it up with the colors. We'll add a black hat, maybe a glass. And our shoes. Okay, that's our guy in the front. We can keep adding more details, but we're trying to do is capture the mood. And the same thing we will do for a couple of people. So we will add a little bit of be bold. And the same thing, we keep adding. Okay, also just to show that there is a shadow over here, so we need to make sure that there is shadow, sorry, the sun. We'll add a couple of shadows. Okay, and a couple of perspective lines running all the way here. Just add some details to that one. So that area looks too empty at the moment. So I'm going to just add a few more people because I'm just squinting my eyes and then checking what else needs to be done. So I'm just adding a few more characters. They're just there. We don't know what they are doing, but I'm just trying to fill in some characters. Okay. That should do. A couple more arches. Connecting the shadows. I think I'm happy with what it is right now. This person in the front needs a little more shadows, a couple of places. The kid needs a little more. Okay, I think I'm happy with that one. Now let's tackle the tree. Again, you got to be a little more bold. I'm just starting somewhere here and I'm just looking at where it might go. So I'm using a little of buff titanium. So wherever it goes, it goes. Okay. And I will obviously come in, add some shadows to the tree. Couple of places. And let's do the same treatment for another tree over here. So just be bold, pick one line and just go for it. And then there is another tree which is a little dark. I'm going to come in. And add some shadows, obviously. Okay. Okay, now take a small brush. So I'm gonna just hurt it a little bit so that it just flares up a little more. Take the water out. I just want it to be as little strong as possible. So a little more. So a couple of places, random. Yeah. Try to be asymmetric or try to break the pattern. Okay, I think that should do. I will take a small rigger and I'll add some connecting lines. Okay, so there's a couple of places needs some connection. And I'm just beefing up places where it needs to look a little more strong. And there is a couple of light posts. I will come over here. And then maybe one right there. Just add some features for all the bits and bobs. Okay, there's a light post, there is features. I might add a couple of railings on the top. I think that's about it. Okay, so there's a little bit of shadow when I'm squinting my eyes. There is a little bit of shadow. There's some people going on. There is a dome. There's a little bit of trees. The only thing left right now is to put a signature and call it a day. So you don't need more. Sometimes you just need to know when to stop again. Albandi. Okay. Let me just dry and then show you how the painting looks. Again, this painting was quite a busy painting. The idea is to capture the mood and then simplify it. Yeah. So your the trees could have been a little more darker, in my opinion, at the moment, if I'm being critical about it. But it's still a decent painting, so I can see plenty of sunlight. There's a shadow of light where I can see there's a building and then there's a road that is It's capturing some shadows. There's some trees. There's a sign. There's a billboard, and there's people walking around. I would say this is a decent, quick painting for what we are trying to do. Okay, this is under, what is it, 30-40 minutes? Let me see. It's about 30 minutes. So this is under 30 minutes of painting. Istanbul. I hope you like it. If you want more demos and other things, just put in a comment, and I'll try to do a particular fashion you guys like. Till next time, keep watching. And there is a new podcast launching May 1st called Wet on Wet. I should have told a little bit sooner. There is a podcast. I'm going to interview lots of people from watercolor background, trying to understand how they do it, what we can use as a tips and tricks from their lessons, tips, tricks, which we can apply in our workshop, in our daily watercolor journey. Thank you, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.